What's up, Foundation Nation? Today we are doing a comprehensive review of the Climo Disc Golf Belleair. This is a mid-range entry into their lineup, one of the original 3 molds that they released. And there's really a lot to be said about this disc because when Climo Disc Golf was announced, if you're not familiar with that brand, essentially Ken Climo, one of the greatest players of all time, spent his entire career with Innova Discs and then kind of disappeared from disc golf for a little bit. Well, last year, rumors start stirring up about him joining Discraft, and then it's discovered that he's actually got his own line of discs, Climo Disc Golf. It's manufactured by Discraft, and the Belleair was the first mid-range. Ken Climo is most known for his rock throwing ability, the Innova Rock, a very iconic mid-range. He made it iconic. If you bought any KC Pro rocks anytime in your disc golf career, that stands for Ken Climo, and you'll see 12-time world title on the bottom. Like I said, their plastic is manufactured by Discraft, so it's very high quality. This is their Victory line, so you're looking at something comparable to Z plastic, but a really good run of Z plastic. Discraft Z plastic can differ a little bit, but this is a really nice polished run. It has a little bit of gumminess to it, nothing too crazy, and a good grip overall. I like the feel of the plastic. As far as the mold, we're looking at a 5402. Those are the flight numbers. Like I said, comparable to a rock. Not quite the same, but those flight numbers are also maybe a little outdated. We're looking at a beaded mid-range. You can see there just a little bit of a bead on the profile, and perhaps a slightly shallower feel than a rock. It's pretty similar to one of the flatter runs of Discraft Wasps, maybe a Discmania Method. Doesn't quite have that pop-up dome that a KC Rock would have, and the Rock 3s I think are a little bit deeper than this. So we're gonna see how it flies out here in the field and see, does this thing even fly like a rock at all, or is it just kind of a different disc? And what does the Climo Disc Golf line have to offer us? So we're gonna throw this way. We have a little bit of a headwind left to right, so we expect it will probably not fly super stable here, but throwing it back the other way, we'll get another look at it. So we'll give this just a little bit of hyzer and see what it does. Wow. Okay, great flight. Pushed pretty straight. It didn't bite super hard on the hyzer, but with a little bit of breeze out there, it had no issue holding its line. It didn't want to pop up, just a nice straight pushing hyzer. Good first throw. We'll see what it does on some other lines. So I really like the Belleair on that baby hyzer line. We're gonna try and throw it a bit more flat this time. The wind's kind of swirling, so it is moving more off of the right this time, but it's not necessarily, it's kind of straight right to left. So we should have to work a little bit to get it to turn, but yeah, we'll throw it a little more flat. That's about what I would expect. There was probably 10 miles an hour right to left wind there. So you can see it wanted to turn into it a little bit. The wind was kind of holding that off. We'll give it some more anhyzer on the next throw to see how long it will hold that ante. But this disc is relatively reliable so far. Beaded mid-ranges typically are, but in a little bit of a breezier condition, still got a really predictable, consistent flight out of that, and it still had great glide. Loving this disc so far. Now we've seen the Belleair on a couple different lines. We're gonna give it more to the anhyzer, a little bit more anhyzer, I should say, this time, and see if it wants to fight out at all, or if it will carry a nice neutral flight. I have a feeling this disc is gonna be very neutral, so I'd be surprised if it really fights out of this. I gotta say, this disc is a beauty. It's super neutral. It didn't dive over on that anhyzer line, even with some left to right wind. It still did flatten out, which is just a fantastic mid-range. Honestly, this reminds me of a Rock 3 that I've seasoned in a little bit because it wants to carry a little bit right. It's starting to drift that way. This is a great mid-range so far. We're gonna really up the power on some throws, see how it handles that torque. Maybe try a forehand or two, though that's probably not what this disc is best for, but this is a really, really good straight mid-range. I'm getting ever so slight headwind here, so I'm really gonna hit the Belleair hard on hyzer and see if we can get it to flip up and over, see if it resists. This disc just might be in a perfect spot. I mean, I threw that nice into a little bit of breeze, 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze. Popped up a little bit, but it didn't want to push over. That's a great sign. This is Discraft plastic, people, so like this is a reliably durable disc. You should be able to keep this flight for a little bit. The bell run's in a good spot. This is a really nice disc. We'll try to throw a couple touchy forehands, see what it does there, but so far I really love this mold. I think I've seen just about everything I need to see out of this disc. It is very accurately flight numbered. I think it does have just enough fade at the end to flatten out on a little bit of anhyzer or crash out on a little bit of hyzer without being aggressively overstable. It's reliable enough that I could trust it into a little bit of breeze on a baby hyzer. This is an excellent, excellent mid-range. I'll try and throw a touchy forehand, not my specialty, but we'll see what it does, and just in case that was something you were interested in trying. You know, that actually was not too bad, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with the torque resistance. This disc is kind of doing a little bit of both, where you're getting a not aggressive or intrusive fade at the end, but you're getting good torque resistance on that early speed and that high speed. We'll try one more big throw back into this headwind with the Belleair, and then we'll wrap this review up. Wow. Man, I am impressed by this disc. I think this is a fantastic entry into the Climo disc golf line. I think that honestly, if Ken Climo is throwing not as far as he was back in his heyday, this really could just fill the slot of the rock for him right away. It honestly reminds me a lot of the flight of a Buzzz, but I would say it might be a little more reliable with that beaded profile that it has. I think this disc is fantastic, and like I said, there are a lot of mid-ranges that fly straight and are agreeable, so it's not necessarily something brand new, but yeah, if you like the feel of a Rock 3 but want something a little shallower, this would be a great option for you. If you like a Buzzz but wish it was beaded, maybe that's the best reason to pick this up, because it is already in Discraft plastic. But I think this is a really, really good disc, probably getting overlooked, because I know I was. I didn't really have any experience with it before today. If you want to check out the Belleair, they're most likely in stock at foundationdisc.com unless they've sold out before this video releases. But make sure to go check out all the Climo disc golf line stuff, and comment down below if you want me to do reviews of the other discs in their lineup. They've got quite a few more, and they're off to a great start. See you next time.